Quote, "There may be as many reasons that people choose atheism as there are individuals who make that choice. These range from philosophy or science to emotion or rebellion and various combinations of such factors."
I agree that for some atheists, atheism probably is a choice.
For example, I'm sure there are atheists who have grown up in a Christian family who turned away from religion while rebelling during puberty. I'm sure there are also those who turn away from religion because something happens that makes them question the idea of a benevolent God looking out for them.
For me, atheism was not a choice. I'm a skeptic, and my atheism is a direct result of my skepticism.
I can't choose to believe something that I have no reason to believe in. I could only choose to pretend to believe it. I wonder how many out there are only pretending to believe in God because they think everyone else believes, when in fact, everyone else in their social circle is also just pretending for exactly the same reason. Quote, "Another reason for rejecting God, choosing atheism, is a willing acceptance of satanic deception. This satanic deception appeals strongly to atheists as it bolsters two of their desired delusions. One, absolute autonomy, being free to do as they please, and two, the lack of ultimate accountability. There are no eternal consequences for doing as they please."
I've already told you, atheism is the lack of belief in gods. That's it.
The author seems to be operating from the completely baseless assumption that atheists believe that actions don't have consequences. Since I believe they do, I am not free to do as I please. I will always have to consider what others will think about the things I do. Will they like me for it? Will they hate me for it? Will they throw me in jail for it? Will they kill me for it? If my actions benefit others, then they'll think better of me, and that benefits me. A behaviorist would say that this conditions people to do good things even if there's no immediate reward for it. It still feels good. In the same manner, if my actions hurt others, there's a good chance I'll end up getting hurt as well. If I do something bad, I feel bad. Again, this can be attributed to behavioristic conditioning. One would think that Christians would be familiar with the idea that if you're nice to people, they'll probably be nice in return. Who was it they claim said that? It's probably no one they think is important. As for the lack of eternal consequences, this is not a delusion as far as I'm concerned. Everything we know about the human consciousness suggests that it's a function of the brain and ceases to exist when the brain dies. If you want to call this a delusion, you'll have to demonstrate that there actually is an afterlife and that what we do in this life decides what that afterlife is going to be like. What's interesting is that according to the Bible, the only thing that matters is faith. Works are irrelevant. I fail to understand how someone who believes this can say that atheists are deluded for believing that they are free to do as they please. Atheists generally don't. Fundamentalist Christians do. Natural-born atheist. Quote, "The claim is that we are all born lacking a belief in God. Logically, this claim is accurate only at this point and is actually not successfully applicable beyond this point. Atheists who make this argument claim that this argument demonstrates that man is not God-made, but that God is man-made."
No, it demonstrates that atheism is the rational default position with regard to theistic claims.
This belief is always the default position. I cannot believe that a claim is true until I've heard the claim. After I've heard the claim, I still need evidence in order to change my position from disbelief to belief. I'm still waiting for evidence that a God exists.
Until I see it, I'm stuck on square one. Disbelief.
Quote, "In other words, they claim that we only believe in God because someone taught us to believe in God, often during childhood before we were able to consider the claim rationally. Yet this claim is faulty on many levels. For example, we are born knowing nothing at all and must be taught, and later take it upon ourselves to learn anything and everything we will ever know or believe, including atheism."
You don't have to learn to not believe something. Do you have to learn to not believe in Lord Zorgon of the 53rd plane of existence left of next Tuesday? No, of course not. This belief is the default position.
Quote, "We are natural-born bedwetters, but that doesn't mean that we should remain that way. There's a big difference between the belief that a god exists and the belief that learning to control one's bladder is a good idea. The former is completely unfounded. The latter is supported by evidence."
Waking up in a pool of piss is unpleasant.
Quote, "It would be fallacious to claim that God does not exist because human beings invented the idea of God's existence."
Correct. Now, can you please provide a source that says otherwise? Because I can't find one in the article or anywhere else.
Quote, "Furthermore, this claim does not consider that many people came to believe in God in adulthood, and having come from a completely secular, atheistic upbringing.
It doesn't have to.
Like I said, the claim isn't that because we're born without a belief in God, God doesn't exist. The claim is that because we're born without a belief in God, it should be obvious why the burden of proof is on the theist side. Again, I've always been an atheist. Not because I chose to be one, but because I was born this way and no one has convinced me to change my position by presenting evidence that compels me to do so." Quote, "Although perhaps we should grant the claim, if atheists want to argue that atheism requires no more intellect than that which an infant can muster, why should we argue?"
Really? Appealing to ridicule? You really want to go there? Okay, I'll play along and point out that you just admitted that theists are so stupid that they fail to grasp something so simple that even a baby understands it. Do you really want to play this game because you kind of suck at it?
On a more serious note, though, indeed, this belief requires less intelligence than belief. If I don't understand the claim, I obviously can't believe it. This is true for every claim as far as I know. See if a baby understands the claim, things fall up. It doesn't follow from the baby's lack of belief that the claim is true.
Typically, atheism isn't chosen. It's the default position with regard to theistic claims. The burden of proof is on the theist because the theist is the one claiming that a god exists. Atheists aren't people who want to sin or anything like that. We didn't look through the available options and pick the one we like the best. I'm an atheist because I'm unconvinced that a god exists. Do you get this? Atheism is a lack of belief in gods. That's it.